Kalkadosh, Boker Or, Masechet Sanhedrin Daf Yomi Daf Samechvav Mudalev 66A1 says the Mishnah Mechalel Shabbat. Somebody that's going to be Mechalel Shabbat. You got in Hebrew here. Yeah? He says like this: somebody that's going to be Mechalel Shabbat. Bedavar shechayvim al zedono karet. Something what if you did it purposely, you're going to be chayav karet. But shigato, you're going to be chayav, right? Chatat. That is the general rule. So basically, one more time. Whenever we're talking about Chilul Shabbat that is Chayav Sekila, it means that if you did it purposely without a dim or hatra, you're going to be Chayav Karet. And if you did it by accident, you're going to be Chayav Chatat. Says the Gemara, Miklal Dika Mide de Chilul Shabbat Havi, Ben Chayvim al Shegoto Chatat, Zedno Karet, is what? Meaning it's mashma, does there exist such a thing that you could be Mechalel Shabbat, but you're not going to be Chayav Karet and you're not going to be Chayav Chatat if you did it by accident? Mahi, what is it? Answers the Gemara, Techumin ve'aliba de Rabbi Akiva. Right? It's going to be Techumin and according to Rabbi Akiva, or Havara and Aliba de Rabbi Yosef. This one you already learned. So what's the Havara? Maze Havara. No. So just the way that we just explained it was that according to Shitat Rabbi Yosef, all the 39 melachot, you're going to be chayav karet if you did it purposely without a dimin atra, or sekila if you did it with a dimin atra, and chatat if you did it accidentally, korban chatat, a sacrifice. However, though, the rabbis come and the rabbis teach us the following. There is going to be an exception to the rule where there's no karet and no chatat. What is that? Havara. Why? It says in the Torah that you have 39 avot melachot. But then the Torah explicitly comes and spells out, do not make a fire on Shabbat. Says Rabbi Yosef, love itmar. Why was it stated? To tell you that it's only an isur love. It's nothing else. So according to him, there does exist the concept that you're being mechalel Shabbat, but there's no chatat. You're being mechalel Shabbat, there's no karet. You're being mechalel Shabbat, there's no sekila. What is that? Havara. The first answer was techumin. What exactly is techumin? According to Shitat Rabbi Akiva Dafka, we know that a person cannot come out of his 2,000 amot on Shabbat, correct? That's called Isur Tchum. Now, what happens is that according to the majority of the Chachamim, this is an Isur D'Rabbanan. According to Rabbi Akiva, it's Doraita. But even according to Shitat Rabbi Akiva, that it's Doraita, only on a melacha are you going to be chayav all the punishments of the Torah. Going out of the Tchum is not a melacha. You're just like kilu walking out. So therefore, in such a scenario, you're not going to be chayav, sekila, or chatat. Meaning, according to the other rabbis, it's the rabbanan. So the second that it's rabbinical, anyway, there's no sekila, karet. It's the rabbanan. The rabbanan, there's no sekila, right? There's no sekila, and there's no chatat, right? You have to be over an isur doraita to be chayav chatat. Okay, a sin offering. However, though, according to Rabbi Akiva, it's doraita. But even according to Rabbi Akiva, we are on Samechvav Mudalev 66A1. Even according to Rabbi Akiva, that it's going to be what? It's going to be doraita. You're not going to be chayav sekila and all those things because it's not a real melacha. Melacha is only going to be chayav and sekila and all those things. Here, just walking out of the 2,000 amot is not a melacha. So, for example, let's say a person comes now and they cross the bridge of 123rd. So that's going to be outside of the tchum because the entire bridge going up and then going down, right? That's going to be already going to be a problem because there's no houses. And by the time you get to the next houses, right, it's already outside of the tchum. No, 123. Right, 123rd. Right, 123rd, you have the problem. Okay, so therefore, no, that's too small. And there's houses on both sides. Which one are you talking about?
Small one.
Towards Sanyals, that's also a problem. Yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about the small bridges to go to the Arbor Islands or all the other ones. No, you're right. No, so there's a lot of shitot. No, Hallover Park. Hallover. There's a lot of shitot. Yeah, there's a lot of shitot. No, there's a little bridge. It goes up and down. Right after the last house, after the last building. The Ritz-Carlton. Right after that bridge. So from that, exactly. So from that onwards until the first houses is also going to be outside of the tchum. So it's going to be a problem. You understand? Like, unless they're going to start making houses and other things like that. Fine. Next Mishnah. Hamkalel avi ve'imo. Right? We just spoke about it this morning. Yeah, mamash, this week's parasha. Hamkalel avi ve'imo. Somebody that's going to curse his father and his mother. Eno chayav. He's not going to be chayav. Shekalelam b'shem Hashem. He has to curse them with the name of Hashem. But kilam bekinui. But if you only curse them with a kinui, right? The Bimi says you're going to be chayav. Sekila. Nechachamim says potrin. Okay? Says the Gemara. Not the Yud Ke Vav Ke. Any other name of Hashem. Yes, kinui shel Shem Hashem. Okay? Man chachamim. Who's the chachamim? Huh? He says, who is the chachamim? What does that mean? We know, right, that he says over here, who is the shita, which is called chachamim. So he says, Rabbi Menachem Rabbi Yosef. It's shitat Rabbi Menachem Rabbi Yosef. Tanya was learned to the Braita. Rabbi Menachem Rabbi Yosef Omer. Menachem Rabbi Yosef says, Benokvo Shem Yumat. Mata mulomar Shem. What does it mean now? Shem. Nimedam al mekalel avi v'imo. She'eno chayav shekalem b'Shem. It's going to teach us on mekalel avi v'imo that you're not going to be chayav until you're going to be mekalam b'Shem, unless you're going to curse them with a Shem Yuchad. So Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita, Ish. What does it mean? Ish she'yekalel et aviv v'timo mot yumat. Matu ish. Right? What does that mean now? Right? So he says, Lerabot bat tumtum vadroginos. This is coming to teach you, right? Basically, why exactly is it saying Ish she'yekalel, right? What is it coming to teach you? So, because it says in the pasuk, Ki ish asher yikalel et aviv et imo mot yumat, aviv imo kilel damav bo. Right? So remember, whenever it says the words demehem bam or damav bo, it's sekilah, not just thing. In our parasha, it just says kalel aviv imo mot yumat. It does not speak about, right, the other one. Okay? So now the question though is, why does it say over there, and this is in Vayikra, right, Perek Kaf, right, in Kedoshim over there, why does it say ish? What is ish? Just some, right? In our parasha it says kalel aviv imo mot yumat. No. Why does it say ish ki kalel? Ish is coming to include a girl, not only in Parashat Kedoshim, in Vayikra, Kedoshim or more, Perek Kaf, in Vayikra. Okay, there it says ish asher yekalel et aviv et imo mot yumat aviv imo kilel damav bo. Remember, whenever it says damav bo, it means sekilah. Because in our parasha it just says mot yumat. If you're going to tell me just mot yumat, maybe it's only chenek, like the other regular mitot betin. But there it says damav bo. So damav bo means that the blood is on his head, which means sekilah. Why does it say ish? So ish comes lerabot bat, that if a daughter curses the parents, stay malacha, selam umshos, androginos v'tumtum. Tumtum is, you don't know what it is. It's a boy or a girl. It's covered over, right, the private parts. Or androginos, that they got both. Yeah, it's both a male and a female. So says the Gemara, Asher yekalel et aviv et imo, en li ela aviv imo. Aviv, right? Shelo imo, right? Imo shelo aviv, minayin. How do you know that if you cursed one of them, you're still going to be chayav? Because when you come and you say, kalel aviv ve'imo mot yumat, mashma that maybe if you only mekalel shtehem, you get killed. מה קורה אם אתה רק מקלל אחד? וו בחיבור, זה אביב ואימו. בדיוק, אז אם זה וו בחובר, אתה מחזק את זה. אז זה דווקא אם אתה מקלל את שתיהם. לא, אז זה לא וו החיבור, זה וו מחלק. וו החיבור, הכוונה שאתה מחבר אותם יחד, שצריך תמיד להיות ביחד. אביב ואימו. אז זה וו החיבור. אם אתה אומר וו מחלק, זה אביב או אימו. אפילו אם יש וו, זה או. כאילו אביב או אימו. אפילו אם כתוב ואימו. Okay? But the Torah says, Tamulumar, aviv ve'imo kilel damav bo. Meaning, at the beginning of the pasuk, when it says Asher yekalel et aviv ve'imo, from the fact that it says aviv ve'imo kilel, I'm going to say aviv kilel or imo kilel. וזה אותו דבר. זה דברי רבי יושיע. רבי יושיע, this is what he says. רבי יונתן אומר, משמע שניהם כאחד, ומשמע אחד בפני עצמו, עד שיפרו לך כתוב יחדיו. It says like this, it's משמע באמת, both of them together, but it's mashma each one separately. So if you have such a case, when you want to join them together, it has to be written together. And therefore, since at the beginning of the pasuk it says, so we already know that each one lechud, because it says Et aviv ve'et imo. Doesn't say anymore, ve'aviv ve'imo. So, b'makom echad it's mashma. One place it's mashma, you have to curse them both together. In another place it's mashma, each one separately. So the fact that it's done in such a fashion, so therefore this is how it's done. Okay? Mot yumat. What does it mean now when it says mot yumat? So it says beskila. Because again, he's going to die with skila. How do you know it's skila? Maybe it's any other death penalty. Just like over there, skila, afkan skila. Remember, we couldn't have learned it from the mot yumat. You remember we spoke about that already. You couldn't have learned it from the mot yumat. You have to learn from the membam. So that's what we're learning it from the membam, and not from the mot yumat. Onesh shamanu. Yeah, that is the punishment. Azara minayin. How do you know that you're not allowed to? Where do you know the warning? So Tamulomar, Elohim lo tekalel, v'nasi v'amecha lo taor. Right, that means you're not allowed to curse a nasi. So says the Gemara, what does that mean? Im haya aviv dayan, hareu bichlal Elohim lo tekalel. V'im haya aviv nasi, hareu bichlal v'nasi v'amecha lo taor. Eno lo dayan v'lo nasi, minayin. Right? So one second, what happens if he's not a dayan and he's not a nasi? You remember over there, we said that Elohim does not refer to Hashem. It refers to the dayan. V'nikra balabait ela Elohim. Right? The balabait is going to come close to the Elohim. There we're talking about the dayanim in order to bring the court case. ככה כתוב שם, בגלל הקדוש ברוך הוא נמצא, אלוהים ניצב בתתל, he's going to be there in the bedin. So therefore they quoted them like Elohim. So he says, v'nasi v'amechalotor is a nasi. So if your father's a nasi, nasi v'amechalotor. If your father's a dayan, Elohim lo tekalel. What happens if he's not a nasi, not a dayan? אמרת הרי אתה דן בבנייניו משתיהן, ידוע בנייניו. לא ראי זה כראי זה, לא ראי דיין כראי נשיא, לא ראי דיין כראי נשיא. So he says, שהרי דיין אתה מצווה על הוראתו. כראי נשיא שאתה מצווה על הוראתו. לא ראי נשיא כראי דיין שנשיא אתה מצווה על המראתו. כראי דיין שאין אתה מצווה על המראתו. Everyone understood there's a difference between a dayan and a nasi. A dayan, you're obligated to go by his psak. A nasi, you're not obligated to go by his psak. But a nasi, you're obligated not to rebel against him because he's the nasi, he's the prince. The dayan, you don't have the isur of rebelling against him. So therefore, what's a tzad shaveh shebahen? Shehem be'amecha. They're together with you, right? So he says, right, ve'ata muzar al kilatan, and you're going to be muzhar on their klala. Afani avi avicha shebemecha ulficha ata muzar kilato. So therefore, you're not allowed to come, and you're not allowed to. With this binyan, you're not allowed to be mekalel. So he says like this. He says, Onesh shamanu. Azara minayin. How do we know? Right? So we just learned the binyan av. Okay? So now it says the Gemara as follows. Ma le'atzad hashavet shebehen sheken gdulatan garma lahen. Tamulomar lo tekalel cheresh b'umlalim shebe'amecha k'tu medaber. 1 second. He says, I don't understand you. You took a pasuk which we're talking about the highest people in society, a judge and a nasi, a prince. So how could you compare then anybody? So he comes and he says, no, but it says lo tekalel cheresh as well. Lo tekalel cheresh, you're not allowed to be even curse a cheresh. A cheresh is like a handicapped person. So that's not the highest person in society. That's even lower down. So therefore, obviously from there we learn that it's not because of their greatness or whatever it is, you're not allowed to curse. You're not allowed to curse anybody. Any person, you're not allowed to curse. So he says, Male cheresh, sheken charishato garmano. He says, okay, fine, but a cheresh, you know why they cursed him? Because he's a cheresh. So the Torah says, misken, he's an umlal, so don't curse him. Nasi v'dayan yochichu. So the Nasi Dayan is going to teach you, look how high up they are. Meaning they're not miskenim, they have everything. So he says, yeah, man Nasi Dayan sheken u'do garmalahen, cheresh yochiach v'chazar din. Then you do, right, a binyan av. Lo rei zeh k'ri zeh, lo rei k'zeh k'ri zeh. Which means you cannot compare the Nasi v'dayan to a cheresh. The Nasi v'dayan, they're high up in the am. The cheresh is a misken, and the misken is not like the other ones as well. So he says, I'm going to come and bring even your father, right? I'm going to bring your father that he's also in the nation, and you're not allowed to come and you're not allowed to curse him. So ask the Gemara, yeah, but they're different. Meaning the Nasi and the Dayan, they're different because they're high up in stature. One's a Dayan, one's a Nasi, and the Cheresh is also different because he's handicapped. It's the other way. How do you know a normal person? So he says, Elaim ken, if so, nichtov kra, the pasuk should have said, O Elohim v'cheresh, or Nasi v'cheresh. Why does it say Elohim lamali? Why does it say specifically Elohim lo tekalel? So then give it to your father. Hani chalamandamar, that's good according to you, mandamar, that says Elohim is chol, which means Elohim here refers to the Dayanim and not to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But according to the mandamar, that Elohim here refers to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What are you going to say then? The Tanya, Elohim is chol, according to Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Kiva says Elohim is Kodesh. The Tanya we learned in the right of Lezer Yaakov Omer, Azara lam varech et Hashem minayin. How do we know you have Azara? That you're not allowed to come and bless Hashem. Tamulumar Elohim lo tekalel. So therefore, according to Rabbi Akiva in the first Braita, and according to Lezer Yaakov in the Braita, Elohim is talking about, right? It's not mutar, it's not extra, it's Hashem. So Leman Damar Elohim chol gamar. Right? So according to Elohim, if you're going to tell me that Elohim means that it's chol, meaning it's not really the name of Hashem, Elohim does not refer to Hashem, Kamar Kodesh Mechol, you're learning Kodesh from chol. But according to the Mandamar Elohim Kodesh, Kamnin and Chol Mekodesh, and you do the other way around. You're learning Chol Mekodesh. That just like you're not allowed to come and you're not allowed to curse HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're not allowed to curse the Dayan. Okay? So Bishlam al-Mandamar, this is good according to the Mandamar that says Elohim Chol, but you're learning Kodesh Mechol. But according to the Mandamar Elohim Kodesh, Kamar Chol, you're allowed to be learning Chol Mikodesh. Dima Kodesh, maybe you're only not allowed to curse Hashem, not anybody else. So says the Gemara, if so, the pasuk said lo takel, right, which is kalon. Why does it say lo tekalel? My lo tekalel, shema mina tarte. It teaches you two different things. That you have an azara, that you're not allowed to be megadef Hashem or a dayan. Okay, everyone clear? Tamech Vav Amud Bet 66b. We are on the Mishnah. Okay. The Mishnah says, Haba al Nara meorasa. If somebody has relations with a Nara meorasa, an engaged woman, remember the engagement of the Torah was a full kiddushin, right? He gave her the ring, and he says, Area mekudesheli kiddushin, right? He's not going to be chayav ad shete na'ara. She has to be a na'ara, which means between 12 and 12 and a half, right? She has to be a betula, because if she wasn't a betula, he does not get killed. And she has to be meorasa. She has to be engaged, and in the house of the father. Ba'u alea shnaim. What happens if two people have relations with her? The first one, he gets sekilah. The second one, he only gets chenek. Why? He's still going to get chenek. She's a married woman, but she's not a betula anymore, because the first one already had relations with her. So for the second person, he only gets chenek. The first one, he gets sekilah. Until here, we're clear? Yeah? Very good. Says the Gemara. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita. When it says Na'ara, the Lobo will get it. When you tell me Na'ara meorasa, it has to be specifically a Na'ara. If she's not a Na'ara, which means that she's, let's say, a Bogeret, so that's it. So the Torah was much more machmir, davka on a Na'ara. Okay? Right? Now, it's coming to Bima'et, also Ktana, or a Bogeret. Okay, so it says Na'ara velo bogeret, betula velo beula. Betula virgin comes to exclude that she's not a virgin, right? Meorasa velo nisua, only if she's engaged but not married. Vetavia in the house of her father, prat lemasara av lishluchei bal. If right now her father gave her over to the husband's messengers, and on the way, because they were going to take her to the husband to get married, and on the way they had relations with her.
Violated, right?
Yes, or no. By the way, it's not only that. Even if they have relations with her, doesn't have to be violation.
Tell me this: they're still gonna get killed if she was
with consent. Of course, I don't understand you. You have a married man and a married woman, or even if he's not married, she's a married woman. She's doing it with consent. He doesn't get killed. Yeah, she's engaged. I don't care about the what.
Therefore, it's her fault.
I don't understand. If she gives, if I don't understand you. You have a married woman, she comes and she tells you, do whatever you want with me. Right? Now what? No, it's not your fault. You're going with a married woman. What do I care? You killed both of them. In the case of violation, you only kill the one the violator, not the one that was violated, because she didn't do anything. What do you want from her? Right? That's fine. But here, if they both get killed. So here, the same thing. Here right now, right? Of course. What does that mean? The best mans were a little bit too much of best mans, right? And they went too far. So what happened? They went and they violated her. The fact that the father already gave her over to the messengers of the husband, she's not anymore bevet avia. So therefore, they don't get sekila, they get chenek, like a regular married woman. Okay? Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Yudah Amar Rav, it says even in Rav, Zod v'yer Rabbi Meir. These are the words of Rabbi Meir. אבל חכמים אומרים, נערה מאורסה אפילו קטנה במשמע. Says the Chachamim that it's even going to be a קטנה. Meaning that they're going to come and say, even if it's a קטנה, it's still going to be the same halacha. Yeah? So that means even a minor, meaning even if she's going to be 11 years old, the exact same halacha. So Elmaleh Ravacha midifti Ravina says Ravacha midifti to Ravina mimayde matniti Rabbi Meir. How do we know that our Mishnah is going to be Rabbi Meir? Ulmiute ktananami, and we're going to come to exclude a ktana. Dinma Rabbananhi. Maybe it's Rabbanan. The lemiute will get it v'tulo. So we're coming to exclude will get it, right? And that's it. Not more than that. So Elmaleh comes and he says, Hayeno chayav shetei na'ara betula meorasa. He says this is not going to be chayav until it's going to be a na'ara betula meorasa. Eno chayav ela na'ara. He's not going to be chayav unless it's going to be a na'ara betula meorasa. So the Mishnah should have said it then. Betulo media, not anything else. Meaning, according to him, right, Ravina comes and he tells Ravacha midifti, he comes and he says, if the Kavanah Mishnah was to be mimayet, will get it, it should have said, Eno chayav ad shtei na'ara betula meorasa. It should have said na'ara betula meorasa. Meaning, if the Mishnah would have said elal na'ara, so then you're right. It's coming to exclude, but we'll get it. But since it said ad shetei na'ara, it's mashma lema'et ktana. So he comes and he says, right? That's how he's coming and bringing a proof to it. Right? So he says like this. So Ba'mine Rav Yaakov bar Ada merav. Ask Rav Yaakov bar Ada from Rav. Bala ktana meorasa. If somebody is going to have relations with a ktana meorasa, the Rabbi Meir mahu. What's halacha according to Shtat Rabbi Meir? Legamre mimayet la or miskila mimayet la? Is he being mimayet oto mamash michiyuv mita, or is he going to mimayet oto from chenek? Right? Are you going to tell me the behemet he doesn't get killed at all, or maybe it's only just from chenek? So Elmaleh, he says mistabra miskila mimayet le. So it's mistabra that he's going to be mimayet from sekila, right? But chenek he still gets chenek. V'aktiv umetu gam shneim. It's with the mefurash. They both die. So ad shiu shneim shavim. So it's mashma, both of them have to be punished. I'm going to ask you a question. You have a 13-year-old that goes with an 11-year-old. Can you kill the 13-year-old? Yes. Can you kill the 11-year-old? No. Why? She's under bat mitzvah. You understand? So the 13-year-old is above bar mitzvah. The 13-year-old is bar onshin. Right? The 11-year-old is not bat onshin. So here it says, when it says umetu gam shenehem, it means that they're both equal. Both equal means that they both have to be punishable by the law. So if you have that they're both punishable, that she has to be at least an ara, she has to be at least bar mitzvah. So Shatikra, he kept quiet. Amar Shmuel, Maita Shatikra. Why did he keep quiet? He says it's a pasuk. The pasuk says, right, that the guy that slept with her is going to die. From there, we learn that even if one of them is going to die, that's already enough. Because there we were talking about, right, that she started screaming, but she was being violated. So since she was violated, she obviously is not going to get killed, and still you kill him. Meaning not because you kill one, you have to kill both. Right? You have a pasuk mefurash. So answers the Gemara, you're right. Kitana, it's a machlok tanaim. Umetu, right, when it says umetu gam shnehem, ad shu shneim shnavim. These are the words of Rabbi Yoshia. Rabbi Yonatan says umeta isha yusha chavim menudo. No, that even if they don't get killed, both of them. Ve'idach, and the other one, what does he do? Umetu gam shnehem. My dar shibe. Amar Rava lemyutu ma'aseh chidudim. That's going to come to exclude, right? That what happens if he does it, right? That he's doing Masech Hidudim. Meaning, he didn't actually go inside of her. He took his male organ and he started doing a whole bunch of things in order to enjoy himself and to benefit, but he didn't actually, so she's not benefiting. Since she's not benefiting, right, that's why you don't kill her. Right? You only kill him, you don't kill her. Okay? So he comes and he says, Oh, wow. Another Girsa says is Limiute Maseh Hurdus. Hurdus had relations with her after she died. Huh? That's what it's called? Okay, whatever. Yeah. So therefore he said, no. Stam. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Ve'idach. Huh? So it says Rav Yoshia ve'idach ma'aseh chidudim lav klum. You don't come and you don't have to take him up because you're not going to kill him. You understand? If there's no relations, you're not going to kill him. Ve'idach, another shita, hai levado, what does he do with levado? Kedetanya, as we learned in the Braita, ba'u alei asara bnei adam v'adaynu betula, kulam beskila. What happens if you have 10 people that have relations with her and she's still a betula? So everyone had relations with her in the back part. I mean, she's still a betula. Kulam beskila. Everybody gets sekila, all the 10 of them. But she's still a betula. Rabbi says, no, the first one is a sekila. All the rest are going to be bechenek. Because according to him, the second that kilu, that somebody had relations with her, even if it was the other way, she's not a betula anymore. Okay? Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in a Braita. Ubat ish kohen ki techel iznot. When a bat ish kohen is going to start doing znut, so you burn her. Rabbi says, techila. What does it mean, techila? Techel, which means the pasuk is mashma at the beginning. Right? What does that mean? It's mashma at the beginning, at batchala. Because we thought that tachel means shemechalelet et atzma. But Rabbi is learning that tachel is milashon tchila. So the kavanat is ubat ish kohen ki tatchil liznot et avia mechalelet, right? Et avia hi mechalelet b'esh tisaref, which means, so now we're going to see my kama. What does that mean? Amar Rabbi Rabbi Shmuel Tzirale. Amar arusa yatsa lisrefa velo nesua. You remember we brought down a machloket. Who gets serefa? Only nesua or even an arusa? So he says here, even an arusa yatsa lisrefa velo nesua. Only an arusa. The hachi kamar. This is what it means to say. Im tchila biat znut. If the beginning of the biat znut is going to be bisrefa, the idach, but any other biot afterwards is going to be bechenek. My bechen. What does it mean bechen? Ki hatam, just like over there. Betchilat biya kamishta ikra. We're talking about in the pasuk. Hachanam isotuyer betchilat biya kamishta ikra. Right, the pasuk is talking about. So Amaleh of Bivai Barabai. It says Bivai Barabai. More lo hachi amor. More lo hachi amar. He says, what, the Rabbi didn't say that? So Manu, who is that? So he says, it's Rav Yosef. So Rabbi Kermini is Svirle. Rabbi holds like Rabbi Meir. What happens if you have a bat kohen that she got married to somebody that's pasul? Yeah, let's say to a halal. Bat kohen, she gets married to a halal or whatever it is. So mitata bechenek, she should get chenek, not srefa. Does it mean say in tchilat halata biznut bisrefa? No, if she already started with znut, it's always going to be srefa. The idach, and in any other case, it's going to be bechenek. My bechen. What does it mean now bechen? So he says simana be'alma. It's only siman to remember, meaning he wasn't saying that it's the exact same halacha. He was just being mitkaven to another pasuk to be like tchila, that it means at the beginning. Right, and not meaning it's not the same halacha. V'chen means and also this case. It's not the same thing. Right, so it was a siman. It's a siman just to remember, right, what's going on.